Brazos County meet regular session on May 23rd, 2017, 10 a.m. in the Commissioner's Courtroom, County Administration Building, 200 South Texas Avenue, Suite 106. First item on the agenda is invocation of pledge of allegiance to the U.S. Texas flag. Chapter J. Jones and Commissioner Collins lead us.
Our Father, our God, how great thou art in all of the universe. This is the day the Lord have made. We're going to rejoice and be happy in it. Pray for our county judge, our county commission, that they do business for Brazos County. Always lead them and guide them in the right direction and in the right path. Pray for Brazos County Courthouse family. Pray for Texas. We pray for America. Pray for all of our law enforcement officers who lives are in jeopardy. We pray for all of our troops. Pray even for our president. And we pray, God, that you will be with each of us throughout this day. Everybody says amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Chapter Jones, Commissioner. Number 2, citizens' input or concerns. Hearing none. We're going to skip number 3 for just this. We'll get these things signed and then we'll come back to number 3. Number 4 is discussion possible action on Know Before Email Security Awareness Campaign for Information Technology Department. Eric.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Last week, in the wake of the WannaCry ransomware outbreak, I came through here and just tried to give you all a briefing on what we are doing to protect ourselves from ransomware. And you'll recall that we ended on this slide right here where I pointed out that on average there are 4.3 million emails that are sent to county email addresses. And that with the protections that we've got in place, we are currently blocking on average a little over 2.5 million of those. And then another 250,000 of those are being quarantined for the end user to further scrutinize before opening them or dealing with them. But that still leaves 1.5 million emails that are being delivered to county employees each year on average. And so with that number in mind, it's important then to realize that the end users, the recipients of these emails, play a big role in helping to secure our information resources. And so to that end, then, this current fiscal year, we requested monies and were granted monies to bring in a program called Know Before, which is it's a program that specializes in making sure that employees understand the mechanisms of spam, phishing, spear phishing, malware, social engineering, and how they can apply that knowledge in their day-to-day routine to help protect our.
I just really didn't know.
Oh, that was something you had done over there. And so the program consists of several steps, or they recommend that you start by doing what's known as a baseline testing. You send out emails that mimic phishing attempts, and then the program will record the activity generated by that series of emails. And then based on that, you kind of know what your exposure is, and you know how to kind of target your training of end users. And then you can go back later and you can refish your users, and you can see how you're improving. And so we started that program back in, I think it was late January, early February. And we sent out 4 emails that mimicked what a typical phishing scam would look like. One of them looked like it was coming from Office 365. It had links in there asking people to verify their accounts or to update their settings. It had a link to privacy statements. Pardon me. Another one that generated the most activity was a Macy's order confirmation email. It had links to the order number and links to tracking your tracking the shipment. Even a link to collect your loyal customer discount code. There was another one that was sent out trying to attract people to obtain a coupon for a free breakfast sandwich from Panera Bread. It had a PDF file that was attached, another link in there for coupons. And then there was one that we sent out that looked like it came from Yahoo, announcing a notice of breach, again with links in there. These again were emails that simulate what a spammer might send, and the activity that we saw from that campaign. Oh, not sure what happened there. But the numbers that you're looking at here with no numbers are let me back up a little bit. So those 4 emails were sent to 878 recipients. 85% of those people did not open it, did not click on it, did nothing with it. However, 15% of the recipients clicked on a link in that email. They either clicked or they replied to the email, or in some cases they actually took the link to a website and actually did data entry on that website. So 15% of the recipients clicked, replied, or entered data on the website, and those 15% then were invited to take some training to bring them up to speed and make them understand how dangerous it is to do that. Since 15% was our baseline, I decided that I would try to use that number and calculate, just try to quantify our risk here at Brazos County. And so again, you'll remember that I said annually we've got 1.5 million emails that are being delivered. And if, let's say, that 0.1% of those emails make it past our safeguards, they make it past our spam filter, undetected, and if 15% of our email recipients are clicking on links, replying, doing data entry, that means then that potentially we could have 225 potential clicks on malware per year, despite everything that we are doing. And so consequently, I think you can agree that it's important that we train our end users on the role that they play in helping to safeguard our systems. And so that's where the rest of the Know Before product comes into play. I guess I should say too, though, that with respect to malware, for example, malware, if we were to get malware in here and something was encrypted and held for ransom, there's additional safeguards that I didn't mention last week, such as backups. We are backing up our data, and so in all likelihood we would be able to restore that without having lost anything. So I don't want to alarm anybody. And in looking at these numbers, the one number that we do have some control over is this 15% of our end users. The 0.1% of email that might get through our safeguards, that's a common number that is floated around in industry. We don't have a lot of control over that. The makers of the Barracuda email spam filter, for example, they are basically in an arms race with the bad guys, and bad guys always seem to be one step ahead of them. The bad guys figure out a new way to get email through the filters, then the filter makers have to try to figure out how to stop that kind of new email. So we're always one step behind, and that is why I say we don't really have a lot of control over that number there. The 1.5 million emails that are being delivered, I don't see that going down at any time. It's probably only going to go up. And so if we can work on reducing that 15% of our employees who have a tendency to click on links without stopping to think about it, that's our best bet at reducing our exposure. And so, as a follow-on, I'm sorry I don't have the numbers up here. They worked for me last night. I'll just give the numbers to you off of my paperwork. Of the 15% of the users who actually clicked, replied, or did data entry, those people were invited to take training. There's a little 15-minute video that talks about phishing and how to spot phishing attempts and how to basically ignore it and delete the email. Of those 15%, 84 people completed the training. 13 more completed the training but spent far too little time in a 15-minute video. In some cases, they spent 59 seconds watching a 15-minute video, so they didn't get the full benefit of that 15. Then there were another 37 that haven't started the training at all, and that's despite the fact that they've received 5 and 6 emails giving them deadlines and trying to get them to take that video training. But I think the takeaway from this is that it's not just those 15% that need to be trained. I think it would benefit Brazos County to train all of our end users. And so I would like to ask the Commissioners Court to consider championing the training and making it available to every user in the county. The subscription that we've bought this year will provide for that. I'll tell you too that I'm asking for the same monies for next year. This is a program that I think that we can benefit from for several years. City of Bryan has undertaken this program in the recent years, and they report back to me that they started off with a number similar to 15%, and I think I remember my counterpart telling me over there that they are now down to 1% of end users that are actually still clicking on links when they really shouldn't be. So it has benefited them greatly. I didn't run the numbers, but if we're getting $1.5 million per year and only 1% are clicking, and 1/10 of 1% of the emails are coming through, where you can take 225 and do the math and divide it by 15. It greatly reduces our exposure. So I think it's a good cause.
Okay, Eric, I think that's a great idea. I watched the 15-minute video. Not only for the county, but if you've got a computer at home, you ought to be kind of up to speed. And I'll tell you, they've got some pretty realistic looking things that, potential that you can click on. Well, if I got an email to my county email for, Wells Fargo or something like that, I'd know that it was fake because I don't do Wells Fargo stuff from my county email, but if I got it on my home computer, I might be,
Sure.
tempted to.
Right.
So and they had some pretty good instructions about kind of what to look for and how to figure out that it might be a fake email.
There are additional training videos over and above. There are some that run 45 minutes. My staff has looked through all of them and felt like that 15-minute video as a starter would not be too onerous. It would be easy enough to get through, and that's probably where we would start with a countywide program if we were to adopt that.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Well, I think that's a great idea, and that's something we probably need to move forward with. I don't think there would be any action, just direction that we need to move forward. Question. Okay.
Is the 15-minute video proprietary with a licensing that we have on that, or is it public domain?
It is proprietary now. In this case, the subscription service that we bought permits us to expose that video to any of our users here in the county, that and in any other video in that training program. We got specific permission to just download it and make it available locally so that y'all could see this before this presentation, so you'd really have a better understanding of what we're talking about in the way of a 15-minute video. But what we would do in order to try to get this training to all of our end users is we would ask all of our end users to go through the same routine as the clickers were asked to, and that is to set up an account. And once they have set up that account, then we'll put them into a training campaign or training program and give them links to specific videos. And that way that campaign can track them and time them, make sure that they're actually watching the videos or sitting through the videos and hopefully benefiting from that.
I was just curious if there was a public domain. I mean, if it's good for us and we're running into it. I mean, yes, y'all are backed up, but my data and most everybody's personal use data is not. Or if it is, it's kind of old. And I was just curious if we could provide, if there's some way that we could provide a community service for the entirety of our group of people that's a public domain type of function. I realize that this is part of our license and licensing agreement, but if there's a really good public domain out there, we may have a link to it on our county website where people could look at it and use it. Just a thought.
Sure. All right.
Thanks.
We'll look for that, and if we find something we think is beneficial, we'll certainly do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Are these yours, sir? Eric?
I would realize that.
Okay, we're going to back up to number 3, proclamation 17-022, honoring Giovanna Yarborough.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
I'd like to congratulate both Mr. and Mrs. Yarborough for the fine job they did, and to congratulate Giovanna on her accomplishments. Well done.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Certainly none. Motion carries. I'd like the whole family to come up. Boy, this is great. Yeah. Look. Whereas in October 1998, Giovanna Elise Yarborough was born to Alberic and Deborah Yarborough. She and her family moved to Bryan in May of 2000. In 2004, Giovanna laid her educational foundation in kindergarten, Sol Ross Elementary. From 2010 to 2013, Giovanna continued her education endeavors at the Inquire program at Jane Long Middle School. And whereas in the fall of 2013, Giovanna entered James Earl Rudder High School, where she was participating in the freshman and junior varsity volleyball teams. She served as president of the Family and Career Community Leaders of America, FCCLA, and the National Honor Society, NHS, yes, as well as chaplain of the Rudder Voices for Praise Gospel Choir. She's been a member of the Health Occupation Students of America, HOSA, and Future Farmers of America, FFA, and whereas her service continued outside the school as the Praising Y 4-H Club president in conjunction with her position as second vice president of the Brazos County 4-H Council. Her leadership was further displayed as a National 4-H Healthy Living Ambassador. And whereas Giovanna has received numerous awards, including the Hugh O'Brien Youth Hobby Leadership Award, Brian Noon's Club, CTE Student of the Month, FCCLA National Gold Medal in Sports Nutrition, Bryan ISD Spotlight of Excellence, AP Scholar, and Ronald Reagan Student Leader Award, just to name a few. And whereas in addition to her scholastic and ventures of community involvement, Giovanna exhibits her faith in Jesus Christ through liturgical dance as a member of the choreographer of Just Praise Dance Ministry. She is a founding member of All God's Children, which is an organization that strives to provide safe and fun environment for rodeo-type activities involving youth. Whereas Giovanna Elise Yarborough will complete her secondary education as the first African-American valedictorian at Rudder High School. She plans to matriculate at Baylor University and pursue a degree in exercise physiology and continue on to physical therapy school with its emphasis in rodeo sports medicine. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Brazos County Commissioners Court does hereby honor and salute Giovanna Elise Yarbrough's efforts, dedication, commitment, and service to our community for the last 13 years, proclaimed this 23rd day of May, 2017. Congratulations. Giovanna, you want to speak?
Sir?
You want to speak?
Oh.
We'd love to hear you.
Okay. I'd just like to thank my county for supporting me and for recognizing me, and just for everyone. I know quite a few of you in here who have given me awards, who have nominated me for different things, and I just appreciate the support that y'all have given me and the morals that have been instilled in me through Brazos County as a young child, even though I wasn't here from birth, but y'all made me feel like I was, and I appreciate it so much, and I will carry that Brazos County love and creativity and innovation with me to Baylor as I continue my education.
Congratulations. Yeah. Thank you. Does either one of y'all want to speak? You got anything to say? I know you're proud of your daughter. My goodness, that's
She better speak. I'm a Baptist preacher.
We might be here a while to get started.
I would just like to thank all of you and Commissioner Cawley for all of her hard work with me on this, and like to just thank all of you for your support and recognition of our daughter for her efforts, and we appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're so proud of you, and as I've told you before, we're expecting great things. You have started in the community. Your standards are high, and you're so smart that there's nothing but good things coming from you, and that's our prayer. God bless you. Keep up the good work.
Thank y'all. And I think you may have to get back to school. If that's the case, you're welcome to leave. You're welcome to stay if you want, but
We got to be back to school.
I understand. Thank y'all.
Thank you all.
We move on to number 5 is reappointment of the following to Brazos County Council of Governments Board. Term of appointment is 10/1/2017 to 9/30/2020. Carl Mooney and Mayor Andrew Nelson.
I move approval of A and B.
Motion made, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 6, payment authorization to Mustang Cat for the amount of $4,787.82 for work performed on a steering cylinder for fleet maintenance. Amount of invoice exceeded the purchase order. Second. Motion made, second. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None motion carries. Number 7 is consider and take action on proposed amendment to the Brazos County Records Management Plan. And
Move approval.
And we have a correction.
Judge, I'm going to recommend a slight change. In the original proposed language, it reads that Lynn Allen, Records Management Director. I suggest that be amended to read the Brazos County Records Management Director. I spoke with Ms. Allen, that's not a problem. She's actually designated on another form y'all have already signed to give her the authority with the state. But that way, if she changes positions and in the future, we won't have to redo this whole form to replace it. So,
I'll second with that amendment.
okay. Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 8, approval of job description for class code 0832, position 0710, attendant buildings and grounds exposition complex. Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None motion carries. Number 9 is request from Information Technology Department for the approval of disaster recovery strategy proposal and statement of work.
I move approval.
Motion made, second, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 10 is consider and take action on an amendment to contract with Brazos County Appraisal District for the purchase of real property. Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made, second, this is just an extension of time. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 11 is consider and take action on a funding agreement between Brazos County and City of Bryan to benefit the City of Bryan and the Brazos County Economic Development Foundation, BDCEDF.
Move approval.
Motion made, second, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 12 is renewal of contract 17-290 ARC, temporary employment services with Express Employment Professionals.
Second.
Motion made, second, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 13 is amend the regulations of Brazos County, Texas for the construction of driveways, culverts, and county easements and right-of-ways referencing requirements for all commercial access to Brazos County roadways.
Second.
Motion made, second, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 14 is consider and take action on the FWP Holdings LLC utility permit to install a temporary 10-inch polyurethane water line within and along the right-of-way of Henschling Lane and Elmo Whedon Road. Line will also cross under each roadway through existing culvert pipes. Project will provide water to an oil well. Sites located in precinct 2.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 15 is permission for county judge to sign a letter of support for uniform hospital rate improvement program.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 16 is appointment of the following: the Brazos County Employee Health and Wellness Clinic Personnel Committee, A, County Judge, B, Medical Director, C, Human Resources Director, D, Budget Officer, and E, a representative of the Health Department.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None motion carries. Number 17 is tax refund application for the
I
following.
move approval A through G.
Motion made, second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 18 is budget amendments. Budget amendments FY 16/17, 34.1 through 34.4.
Second.
Motion made, second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 19 is personal change of status.
I move approval.
Motion made, second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 20 is payment of claims. Claims to be paid by Brazos County. Claim number 7155816. Claim number 7155998. Approval.
Second.
Motion made, second, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. We'll skip down and go to number 23, is acknowledgment of road and bridge maintenance expenditures report FY 17 from January 1, 2017 through 3/31, 2017. And then number 24 is sheriff's report on inmate population. Sheriff.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Glad you're sitting down this morning. We've got a pretty shocking number, 700 people in jail.
715?
700.
700.
607 of those are male, 93 are female. We We have 69 on active on home arrest, and 19 are pending.
It's not even hot yet outside.
I know.
Normally I'd thank you, Sheriff, but I'm not sure that I want to do this. No, thank you, Sheriff.
Amazing number.
Yeah. Number 25 is announcement of interest items and possible future agenda topics. Call for citizens' input and/or concerns. Hearing none, we'll move back up to number 21, to convene an executive session. Two executive sessions. I think we will take them out of order. We'll first do the executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.087 to discuss and declare economic development negotiations. We need Bethany, legal, and Irene, and I see Frank and Kevin. We need them in, Course Commissioners. And then, when we're finished with that, then we'll do the executive session 551.074 to discuss the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, and dismissal of county personnel. And then Irene and Bethany will stay in there for that one. Yes, probably.
I'm sorry, who else?
Jennifer.
And on the first one, Bethany, legal, Irene, and who were the other?
Kevin and Frank from City Frank.
Okay. Okay.
And the time is 10:33. Did I say? Yeah.
Well, I just put it on, because all they were changing was,